Congress. He represents Youngtown, the Mahoning Valley in Ohio. And for a little while, he posed as someone who understood the trials of the people he represents. We used to have him on the show fairly regularly, and then it seemed to get hostile. Here's one of our last conversations in January 2018. There are a lot of sad situations in Ohio right now. 4,000 people died of drug ODs. 400 were deported. By a factor of 10, drug ODs are a bigger deal. And you're spending your time and the symbolic power you have to honor someone who's deported rather than one of your constituents who died of a drug OD. And I don't understand why. Tucker, it's a simple question.
Hey, Tucker, I've spent more time on the opiate epidemic in my career than you have.
Yeah, not tonight.
And a lot of other people that are going to be criticizing me. So I'm not taking a backseat to you or anybody else on the opiate epidemic. You tell your president and your party to fund the damn bills we try to put forth to make sure that these people can get treatment.
Look, I may agree with, but let me just say, I may agree with you on some of that. No, I may agree with you. But you've got a chance to send a symbolic message, and you're sending it. We know where your priorities are. Guy's a total fraud, and he knows he's a fraud. And we called him on it, so he stopped coming on the show. But it turns out we're not the only people he stopped responding to. You might remember that Tim Ryan used to be a massive fan of Joe Biden. He absolutely loved Joe Biden. He campaigned for Joe Biden in 2020. But now that Joe Biden has turned out to be every bit as bad as everyone expected him to be, Tim Ryan is pretending, I don't know who this Joe Biden guy is.
Do you want President Biden to come out and campaign for you in Ohio?
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. But the reality of it is I'm the face of this campaign.
President Biden, will you invite President Biden to come campaign for you?
Look, we welcome everybody's support, but I will be the face of this campaign.
I heard you in an interview today really not answer if you want President Biden on the campaign trail in Ohio, the sitting president of the United States. I didn't hear an answer to that. Do you or do you not?
My answer was I want to be the face of this campaign, and I don't want any distractions.
So you would have hoped there'd be one Democrat out of the entire U.S. Congress who was even sort of interested in the issues that bedevil the American middle class. But it turned out not to be Tim Ryan. J.D. Vance is running against Tim Ryan for Senate in the state of Ohio. He joins us tonight. You know, I almost feel bad bringing you on to point out what a total fraud your opponent is. But, like, shouldn't he, I can't resist. Shouldn't he be required to campaign with Joe Biden?
Well, I wish so. I'm actually in Cleveland today. Joe Biden was here today, and Tim Ryan is, of course, nowhere to be found. But you're exactly right, Tucker. The guy is a total fraud. I mean, look, he decided to side with illegal aliens over his own citizens who are being killed in record numbers by fentanyl overdoses. He sided with the Biden administration killing the energy industry in Ohio in the name of green energy, which, of course, has just shipped a ton of manufacturing jobs and a ton of prosperity off to China. And, of course, while he says that he cares about working citizens, he sided with the Biden administration 100% of the time on policies that made our streets less safe, that defunded American police departments, and that made us all poor through the ridiculous inflation we're experiencing. So I'm not surprised that he's politically smart enough to know that he has to run from Joe Biden. I'm a little surprised at the shamelessness of it all, that the guy campaigned for Joe Biden, supported every single one of his policies, and pretends now on his TV commercials that he's never heard of him.
I mean, when you were a kid, there were still plenty of Democrats, I knew some of them, in your state, particularly from his congressional district in the Mahoning Valley, who had, you know, American values, who represented people who made a wage for a living, who would care about gas prices and fentanyl. Are there literally none left, not one?
There certainly aren't in Ohio, Tucker. I mean, look, the Democratic Party used to have some social conservatives. Now it has people like Tim Ryan who defend abortion up to 40 weeks. It used to have people who actually defended the American energy, recognized that we needed to have our own oil and gas industry. And now it's filled with people like Tim Ryan and Joe Biden who are trying to destroy it. I think, unfortunately, the activists of the Democratic Party are so in bed with big tech and big finance that they've driven our economy off a cliff. But look, Ohio is never going to be, and frankly, I don't want it to be, an economy that depends on the technology industry, the finance industry, and the pharmaceutical industry. We have a real economy here. We have agriculture and we have energy. We should have those things. We need political leaders who support those industries.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. The basics matter, as always. That never changes. J.D. Vance, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And because the basics are all that matters, you should be concerned, of course, with food, water, energy, but also, are people having babies? Are they replacing the species? And somehow, around the world, birth rates are dropping in crazy and unprecedented ways. What is going on? That's straight ahead.